What's up everybody, Steven Z Killer here. It's time for a new reaction video. But before that, 75% of you guys watching are not subscribed. Now recently, I was able to obtain the silver play button because we hit 100,000 subscribers. Now I'm pushing myself forward even further. We're going for 300,000 subscribers. We can't hit this goal if you're not part of this community, so hit that subscribe button and notification bell. Join the Discord so you don't miss out on any of my videos when I go live on Twitch, live on YouTube, or I upload a video. Links in the description. Don't forget, I do want to upgrade from silver to gold at one point. So help me out today and hit that subscribe button. Now let's get into the video. What's up everybody, Steven Z Killer here bringing some more Five Nights at Freddy's goodness, and today we're checking out some more story and ending explain videos that were recommended to me. This one was recommended to me in some comment sections. What actually happened to Glamrock Freddy? And I'm assuming this has got to be between literally the security breach DLC when basically you run into Freddy and he goes chomp 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 at you. And beforehand of the ending of regular security breach, not the DLC, when Freddy's head is removed and Gregory leaves with Freddy's severed head, which is a lot of people are saying that is the true ending for security breach leading to the DLC. And also I've been seeing a lot of other things, like yesterday I did a reaction where there's a theory on one, Cassie not being dead, and a bunch of other things, so check out that prior reaction. Lots of reactions that are coming your guys' way that are going to involve the Ruined DLC. Also, if you guys haven't watched it, all three streams are up and available on the channel. I will actually be making a playlist during the time frame I'm actually uploading this video. I'm going to make a playlist because people are asking me to put them in a playlist for them. So I'll be putting the playlist and there will be a playlist available of my full playthrough of the Ruin DLC. So if you guys are interested in that, go check that out on the channel, and I might do it as a pinned comment. I'm not sure yet. But either way, we're checking out what happened to Glamrock Freddy in this timeline. Also, this is the first time I'm seeing this channel. This was recommended to me in my comment section. I was not priorly subscribed. And of course, if you guys are watching this with me, show your support. Link will be down below in the description. Subscribe to the channel and like the original video like I have. This video is actually blowing up. It's over 800,000 views, and definitely it seems like a lot of people are attracted to this video. So if the theory and or the lore he discovers is very strong, then I'm looking forward to this. Anyways, let's get into this and enjoy it right now.
Hey guys, Rexer here, and in today's video, we're going to be covering one of the biggest mysteries of FNAF Security Breach, Ruin. That mystery, Glamrock Freddy. Now, with all these theories popping up all over the internet, it's hard to decipher what is actually true about our beloved protagonist timeline. But one thing is for certain, something absolutely terrible has happened to everyone's favorite animatronic.
That design is terrifying. I still say to this, that this moment when you run into Freddy is actually probably the scariest part of the playthrough of the Ruined DLC. Just the fact that his stomach opens up and comes after you like that is terrifying. And funny enough is I'm gonna make that a YouTube short the moment I meet Freddy, because he absolutely wrecks me. My first encounter, I get killed pretty easily, and it is terrifying, and my reaction is priceless. Go check that out, and I will be making that a YouTube short. I'm actually going to work on that later today.
Besides Roxanne, of course. So let's go ahead and jump into the madness, and what better place to start than the ending of Security Breach. Now, obviously, there are 6 endings in total at the end of Security Breach, but I will say we're going to bring on Dawko a little bit later in today's video, and he's going to debunk exactly which ending he thinks is canon. And what he says will...
Oh, you know, it does say it features Dawko in the title. Okay, that's cool. He got him on this. That's awesome. Honestly, there's another reaction, or not, other video done by Dawko that was recommended to me in my Discord. By the way, if you want to recommend me stuff, comment down below. This is where I got this video from. And I also check my Discord daily. So if you want to post reaction ideas, grab the link and post them over there in my Discord. Join my Discord and everything. And I'll probably be doing that one after this video.
Probably shock you the way it did me, because I literally thought it was a completely different ending than what he thinks is true. So that being said, let's go ahead and jump into the first ending that could somewhat make sense on Glamrock Freddy's timeline. That ending being the one that I like to call the Disassembled Glamrock Freddy ending. Now, if you remember, this is the ending where you decide to stay and come up with this master plan along with Glamrock Freddy that you're going to sneak up on Vanny's secret hideout over in the Phaser Blaster, and in the words of Glamrock Freddy, end this. Now, obviously, this ending doesn't go according to plan, at least not for Glamrock Freddy and Gregory. Glamrock Freddy walks in and gets absolutely demolished by a couple of help bots, which ends up being the least epic battle I've ever seen.
But also, it's like one of the most animated parts. Like, this part was truly animated, and it was like up there with like the beginning intro song moment with the entire FNAF crew. Like, I don't get how some of the sequences are animated as well as this, but others are not.
Any video game, not just FNAF. Vanny screams out, "Disassemble Freddy," and he gets pushed off the bridge in the Phaser Blaster and torn to smithereens by the evil help bots. Fast forward a little bit, and somehow, some way, Glamrock Freddy has just enough signal and life in his body to tell Gregory to get up to the Phaser Blast booth and turn the bots against Vanny. And of course, karma strikes. They rip Vanny to smithereens, but it was just a little too late for our protagonist, Glamrock Freddy. As you can see on the screen, when Gregory does eventually reach our beloved bear, Glamrock Freddy is just really in some bad shape. And his stomach does look somewhat...
I hope we get some context of how or what the hell that present is inside Glamrock Freddy. Like, why is there a gift box inside him? Like, in the DLC.
Similar to what we see
at some point.
FNAF Ruin. So now let's do a little bit of a deeper dive.
Yeah, he definitely does look more like that.
Actually makes sense to where Glamrock Freddy could potentially have left off.
Hey, thank you for subscribing. Subscribe, you may get a shout out one of my videos.
In the end of FNAF Security Breach, and where it picks up in FNAF Ruin. Now, I will say there is a couple things that go for it. For one, the pizzeria does get shut down for health concerns, leaving it somewhat abandoned.
And I will say this, I don't know about you guys. How long do you think it's been between the games? Like, to me, I know Gregory probably isn't aging, but in a sense, I would have to say, with how much decay and everything it looks like, and how old everything seems to be, no less than 3 years, and maybe around 5-6 years since the ending of Security Breach. I don't think this could be like a year or two afterwards. This has to be 3 to 6 years.
And I mean, Glamrock Freddy's stomach does look absolutely horrible. The big issue that I have with this ending, however, is that Glamrock Freddy still has his head, which we know after playing the Ruin DLC that just cannot be possible. However, you could make the case that something has happened in between the end of Security Breach and Ruin itself. I guess there is the possibility that an animatronic or an helpbot could have maybe kicked off his head or did something horrible to him, maybe out of spite, but it seems a little unlikely. So at least for now,
like, there's still that whole gap between them, like how Vanessa set up the security system and everything to prevent the mimic to get out and all that other stuff. There's still so many questions we have.
Now, we are going to go ahead and say that this is not what happened to Glamrock Freddy. So now let's talk about what I believe is the true ending of FNAF Security Breach, and probably the best bet for how Glamrock Freddy is left off on the timeline. That ending being what I like to call the Burntrap true ending. Of course, this is the ending where, alongside our beloved companion Glamrock Freddy, we destroy Burntrap and he gets sucked in by the blob. Now, what makes this ending really unique to me is that Glamrock Freddy and Gregory do escape as the building begins to burn down into dust and rubble.
There is one thing I didn't realize during my playthrough, and I'm wondering if he's about to say it now. That body of Glamrock Freddy has on the bottom of his foot the words prototype. So I'm wondering if it's a different version of Freddy entirely.
Leaving them happily ever after on a hill, sitting together, watching the sun either rise or set. But I guess it doesn't matter because it's a good ending. Now, how does this have any relation to where we end up finding Glamrock Freddy in the Pizzaplex in FNAF Ruin, because any sane person would say that this ending could not possibly have happened because Glamrock Freddy is still left behind in the Phaser Blaster. However, after doing a little bit of research and talking to a couple YouTubers, you will notice that the Glamrock Freddy that is found in Phaser Blaster has prototype written on his foot. Now, Dawko made a very good point after we talked, and he let me know that this was added after the game had been released, because in the initial trailer, this word prototype did not exist on the foot of Glamrock Freddy. Now, why did
well, that could be also something they didn't want people to see in the trailer.
Decide to add it in the initial game? Now, I do have a couple theories on this, and one of them being that I believe Steelwool may have wanted us to think that the Disassembled Freddy version of the game's ending could have potentially happened, which of course sparks mystery and theories just like this video here. It also makes a little bit of sense if you watch my video before this, that the Mimic might have taken over a prototype version of Glamrock Freddy, most likely to confuse Cassie in all honesty, because she does have a good relationship with the animatronics. However, she realizes very quickly that that is not the case, especially when the Glamrock Freddy that she sees looks like the Headless Horseman and begins chasing her throughout the Phaser Blast. Now, while we're on this topic, I do want to point out the fact that she cannot see Glamrock Freddy when she puts on the Vanny mask, which is really weird because she was able to see all of the other animatronics, at least their outline. That is, however, until I recalled the rooftop ending of Security Breach, when Glamrock Freddy gets to the roof and says, "Vanny, I can see you now. I have new eyes." Somewhat of a cool callback and just something I really just wanted to point out. Another thing that makes sense about this ending is that Gregory might not be in the building after all. As we know now, the Mimic used Gregory's voice to lure Cassie into the building in order to destroy the security protocol and release him. Thus being the reason why I do think this is the true ending of the game, and in my opinion makes the most sense, because Gregory is able to communicate with Cassie outside of the building, and our beloved bear is still alive. At least I really want this to be true, because I don't want to see my boy Glamrock Freddy go down.
Well, the thing about it is there's two possibilities then. I guess he could have been talking about Glamrock Freddy, but it would be way more. When it comes to like getting the security and or knowing the layout, like the blueprints. I guess Freddy could have had all that information stored and all that stuff, or able to get the schematics. But also, it being Vanny or Vanessa would be a little bit better.
Anyways, guys, that brings me to my third and final ending that we're going to be covering in today's video, and the one that Dawko thinks makes the most sense. This ending being, of course, the Princess Quest ending.
Now,
if you recall, this is the ending where you beat all of the Princess Quests around the building, and the last one being inside of Vanny's office.
And I did watch a video, and it makes sense. Why else would there be a tipped over Princess Quest game with the sword of Princess Quest sticking out of it?
Now, towards the end of Princess Quest 3, you see the character gets up to this glitched wall, breaks it, and goes through. And there's a scream in the background. The screen goes black, and then error pops up on the machine. And it shows all of the help bots going from evil back to normal, as well as Vanny's mask being thrown off on the floor in the Phaser Blast room. The next scene shows Gregory holding a duffel bag with, of course, our beloved Glamrock Freddy's head inside of it, and then Vanessa coming from the exit and running into Gregory, no longer under the spell of Glitch Trap, and now back to her normal self as well. Now,
of course, this is the scene. Well, a lot of people say this is where Freddy's headed, but at the same time, the whole prototype thing really makes me think that that is not Freddy's original body.
Of course, this ending ends with Gregory, Vanessa, and Glamrock Freddy's head sitting on a beautiful green pasture, eating some ice cream and looking at the sunset. Now, how exactly did this play into the FNAF Ruin timeline? Well, that's where I'm going to go ahead and bring Dawko in to do a little bit more explaining. All right, Dawko, so why do you think that Princess Quest is the true canon ending?
There's a lot of hints throughout Ruin that indicate that Princess Quest is canon. The first biggest one is all of the drawings from Gregory that you collect throughout the game. Each drawing is every single ending in Security Breach apart from Princess Quest. So
That is also a big factor. Yeah.
why is there not a Princess Quest drawing? Because that one actually happened and the other ones are not canon anymore. Steelwall did this to obviously show that Princess Quest is the canon ending. Not only that, when you go to Fazablast, you see the Princess Quest machine, the last one, and you can see that the sword from Princess Quest is impaled through the machine, which again indicates that the Princess Quest ending did happen. Glitchtrap was defeated, and the sword's there, you know, to indicate that. I think that's pretty obvious to me. No, so
Yeah.
Burntrap gets destroyed completely in Princess Quest. There's no sign of him throughout the games. MXES is a completely separate character entity that was created as a security protocol to keep the mimic.
Thank you for subscribing. Big shout out to you, buddy.
Keep the mimic sealed up with the concrete and to stop anybody from breaking all of the security nodes to let the mimic free. If you're wondering how MXES was created, it was actually created by Vanessa and Gregory.
Wait, so you're telling me that a 7-year-old made this program?
Yeah, so in the books and stuff, and in the games as well, in the CDs that you collect in Security Breach, it's well known that Gregory is a good hacker. In the books, in the books he's good at hacking the animatronics and stuff. So it's already confirmed that Gregory knows what he's doing with this. Vanessa as well. You know, she's an adult, so both of them combined, you know, I feel like they would do something like that. We know as well.
Yeah, I can see that.
True, because when you go down to where the mimic is, Gregory's backpack is there on the floor. So we know that Gregory has been there with Vanessa to stop the mimic.
Oh,
in
dang.
the past.
That's a good point. I actually didn't even realize that. I mean, I saw the book bag, but I didn't really put two and two together.
The backpack, if you look close.
Yeah, but why would he leave the backpack there? I can understand them setting it up, but there's no reason for him to leave the backpack there. Like Vanessa and Gregory could be the ones that cemented that door, but also it was cemented on the opposite side. It was cemented there, and then they shut it. Like, I guess they could have put the mimic in there, trapped it in there, had it like bound and tied up and or shut down, knowing that they only had a limited amount of time. But they had a solid, thick, perfectly square, sealed, cemented door, and then they had the ability to shut the other door.
Actually has.
That's the one. That's a factor that I don't know about.
It has Gregory on it. I'll send it you after, so you've got it on the video.
Wait, what did he say?
Gregory, it actually has Gregory's name tag on it.
Oh, okay, cool.
Gregory on it. I'll send it you after, so you've got it on the video. But yeah, there's Gregory's name tags there, so it's confirmed that Gregory's been down there.
Wow, that's actually pretty impressive that you realize that. Okay, so my last question to you, because this is what the whole video is about, is how do you think Glamrock Freddy ended from Security Breach and ended up the way he was in Ruin? I mean, I guess it makes sense with your ending, because, I mean, his head is missing.
Yeah. His head's missing and his chest has been ripped up by the help bots. It's the cutscene in Security Breach where Vanessa presses the button and says Disassembled Freddy. That happens before the Princess Quest ending. So Freddy gets disassembled and then you get chased by Vanny. You go up to Vanny's hideout, play Princess Quest 3, and then, you know, you get the Princess Quest ending. So that explains why Freddy's got no head. It explains why his chest has been ripped up. Because Princess Quest ending, you see Freddy's head at the end. So yeah, to me that's pretty obvious. The only issue now that is confusing people is why Steelwall decided to add the prototype on Freddy's foot.
Yeah.
It's a hard one, and I don't understand why they did that. Because now people are saying that the Freddy that was in Ruin is not the same Glamrock Freddy in Security Breach. But they are so similar, you know. They've both got no head. The chest has been ripped up. that you know that the bodies of both where.
But what is the present? That is the biggest question. Why is there a present, and what is the factor? Why is there a present, and what does the present do inside Freddy as well?
Fuzzablast is, you know, where Freddy gets disassembled is the same place where you see him in Ruin. It's the same location, it's the same area, they're both in Fuzzablast. So to me, that is the same Glamrock Freddy. And I really don't understand why Steelwood decided to add the prototype foot. Maybe that's going to be explained later on or something.
Well, probably.
Yeah, I hate to say this, but I feel like there's more to the DLC, and I feel like this is a part 1. I feel like we have to get a second DLC for Security Breach, and I'm praying, dear God, do not make us wait as long for part 2. If there's going to be a sequel to this DLC, do not make us wait as long, please. The DLC wasn't too bad. I think on my initial playthrough, and most other people who first initially played through the game, you can beat it within about 5-ish hours. I beat it within 5 hours, maybe 6 tops. It wasn't that long of a game. It was a pretty good free DLC. I don't care if it's like a couple, just only like 3 hours or something. If there's a second DLC that explains or patches some theories and stuff like that, please release it sooner than almost 2 years after.
For people like me, because that actually makes me really sad to think our boy Freddy got torn to pieces like that. I mean, I guess we know he got torn to pieces, but I still had some hope that he might have made it out of the building. Similar to like that scrapped Freddy. Do you remember which one I'm talking about? The one where like he was all ripped up to pieces, but he still had a head.
Oh, you mean the ending where he just dies?
Yeah, where he just dies, and then he it's the ending where you go up and you disassemble Vanny.
Yeah, well, that's 100% not canon because Vanessa's in the ending of this in Ruin, so that's definitely not true. The fact that all of the other endings have been drawn by.
It's not outright specified that Vanessa is in the Ruin DLC unless he found something I'm not aware of.
That, you know, apart from Princess Quest, you know, to me it's just one.
Oh, I guess no, because of the Princess Quest. I guess that's the evidence of her still being around.
1,000,000% obvious that the Princess Quest ending's canon.
Okay.
And to people who are saying that it could be the Afton ending, it can't be, because at the end of the Afton ending, the pizza simulator location, the pizza place, gets completely destroyed and blown up. How can that happen if we go back there in Ruin with Cassie, and when we go into the pizza place location, it's still intact, everything's still there, you know, the office is still there, and all the, you know, where we fight Burntrap, you know, right. it's all intact still. So
and, yeah, like we talked about,
you know, that is a good point
earlier. I mean, that's the one that I thought was the true canon ending, and I really wanted it to be true only because, I mean, it ended so happily. It ended up on that nice green hill just staring off into the sunset, and both of them were alive and escaped. But yeah, you make a good point. There's no way what Pizzaplex would Cassie have gone into.
Then wouldn't that mean I guess Burntrap would then still technically be down there. Also, there is that scene where the blob is still moving and grooving in the underground. Like that one scene where the blob's Funtime Freddy head was seen and he disappeared.
Yeah.
I didn't notice it during my playthrough, like but when I watched one of my videos, I did.
Area is intact, which they make that very clear in this game when Cassie says something along the lines of, "What are all these burners for?" or something like that. It's like an oven. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, almost like they wanted us to be able to tell that was not the ending.
Yeah, so you know, that location would not be intact still if the Afton ending was canon, because you saw at the end the whole place started setting on fire and exploding. So
yeah.
Well, I guess before I let you go,
it was coming down.
More question for
like
you,
chunks of the building.
Where do you think Gregory is then? Was he inside the Pizzaplex when Cassie got there, or did he make it out with Vanessa, like in the ending that you said is true?
Yeah. He Princess Quest ending. He makes it out with Vanessa. You know, Glitch Trap's destroyed. Vanny's set free. Vanny drops her mask. You know, she's not possessed by a Glitch Trap anymore. And then they leave the location. They obviously go back though in the future to deal with the mimic. You know, it's explained. You know, Gregory's backpack's in there. Gregory knows all about the mimic. When he finally gets back in contact with us, he knows who the mimic is. He knows that Cassie's been tricked by the mimic because you know the mimic's pretended to be Gregory. It makes sense to me. The whole plot point with the mimic starts mimicking Gregory because you know Gregory's the one who sealed him up with Vanessa, and you know, and you can see at the end with the elevator, Gregory's terrified of the mimic because you know that's why they sealed him in the first place because they know how dangerous he is. And now that the mimic's free, because he tricked because the mimic tricked Cassie, you know, Gregory has to, you know, make that sacrifice of. Well, we don't know fully yet if that was Gregory who cut the elevator, but
yeah, because there was that sound like audio switch. It does like so. In my reaction yesterday, someone pointed out in that video I reacted yesterday, saying that the moment. There was a split moment where it sounds like interference, and then Gregory talks again, and that could be the mimic talking. At the first half of the speech, where he's talking to Cassidy, and then he gets cut off by the mimic, who makes it seem like Gregory is purposely going to kill Cassie by dropping the elevator. And honestly, at the end where Roxy finds Cassie's body and says Cassie, could indicate that Cassie didn't die, but now the mimic is no longer there and Roxy found Cassie. Mimic might think Cassie's dead and is trying to find another way out of the pizzeria or the underground. And who knows, the next DLC could be a whole segment of Roxy and Cassie, like Gregory and Freddy kind of situation.
You know, it kind of makes sense because Gregory knows how dangerous the mimic is, and knows that the mimic is going to hunt him down now for revenge for sealing him up.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes you just have to
yeah.
kill your best friend to do right by the rest of the world, huh?
Again, that one's a tricky one. We don't know if that was the mimic talking at the end or Gregory. We don't know yet. If it's
I feel like it'd be better if it wasn't
yeah,
Gregory
wasn't in
and it was the mimic
at the time when Cassie was there. That was all the mimic. The mimic was pretending to be Gregory that whole time. You know, to lure Cassie in to set him free, which eventually is what happens. But Gregory does find out there's parts in the game where it is actually Gregory talking. There's a specific staff bot that's saying, Cassie, are you there? Cassie, it's me, Gregory. That is actually Gregory trying to get in contact with Cassie to warn Cassie about what's going on. Unfortunately, Gregory doesn't get the chance to do that until the end when the mimic's set free. It's too late.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, just for the record, if we ever end up in this situation and you're stuck on an elevator, just know I wouldn't cut the line. I would have you get out with the mimic or not. But thank you, Dawko.
Well, the thing about that doesn't make sense too is how is the mimic following if one, Cassie got into the elevator and only a arm of the mimic made it inside. The rest of the mimic is still down below. And they could have, honestly, Gregory could have let Cassie get out of the elevator and then cut the elevator so it could fall and crash. And then it would be fine. It makes no sense to kill Cassie when Cassie's already in safe area to get out. It's got to be, the mimic basically didn't want Cassie to get free because he didn't get free. If I'm going to be trapped down here, I'm taking you with me kind of concept. And so he took over the voice module thing that Cassie was listening to Gregory to and intersect it where it sounds like Gregory is just going to now kill her instead of it actually being Gregory. I feel like that's the case. Let me know what you guys think in the comments.
Appreciate you taking the time to jump on the video. It means a lot to me. And are you planning on doing your own breakdown?
Yeah, so I'm gonna do what you've done as well. So you know, you did a summary about the mimic. I'll be
Which I think that's the one we're gonna watch later. So look out for that reaction. More on the mimic and stuff later. I hope you guys enjoyed this reaction. Fantastic job. I just always enjoy these type of videos. They really dive in, and they also point out some stuff that I may not have picked up on. Just like in this video. This video did point out a few things. And I'm liking this. I'm liking this. The theories, the ideas, and of course, whenever MatPat drops his game theory on the DLC, I'll definitely be checking that as well. Because when it comes to the Five Nights at Freddy's lore, MatPat does a good job. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Let me know down below what you guys think. Subscribe, hit the notification bell, and also suggest things down below in the comments or post in the reaction idea section on my Discord. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Until then, later.